Welcome back to Disturbed Reality. In the late 1990s and in the first decade of the 2000s, the Gulf Cartel were one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Mexico and beyond. They dominated large parts of Mexico and constantly acquired new territory in their pursuit to control the drug game. Due to their armed wing, Los Zetas, they were largely successful in expanding their criminal empire. The Zetas had an edge on the competition, with high-ranking members being recruited directly from the Mexican military, giving them an edge on rival cartels. The Zetas blended sophisticated military tactics with reckless abandon and the ruthlessness of stone-cold gangsters. The Zeta and Golfo partnership would be fruitful for many years, though if you followed this channel for long enough, you know how that relationship ended. Both organizations would eventually not see eye to eye and would engage in a bloody 5-year war that ultimately decimated both organizations. High-ranking leaders were killed and captured on both sides, creating power vacuums in the respective organizations. As a result, both the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas would splinter into smaller criminal factions. Primarily, Los Zetas would split into two main groups: Cartel del Noreste, known in English as the Northeast Cartel, and Zetas Vieja Escuela, known in English as the Old School Zetas. As for the Gulf Cartel, they split into numerous factions such as Los Metros, Los Escorpiones, Los Ciclones, Los Rojos, and Los Panteras, among others. Primarily, the factions of both the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas all have presence in the border state of Tamaulipas, of course a state that was historically controlled by the Golfos and the Zetas during their alliance. In 2023, it's hard to describe who and what the Gulf Cartel even is. Various factions have been at odds in recent years, while others work together. The Gulf Cartel is not a united organization, which, on the surface, may seem like a good thing for the general public, though the reality is, due to the sheer amount of splinter groups, levels of violence tend to increase as each group vies for top spots. Tamaulipas in recent days has seen the violent result of such splinter factions, with shootouts being reported across the state, particularly in the city of Reynosa. The sudden rise in violence is a complicated story, to say the least, with various criminal organizations reportedly being involved in the bloodshed. Bear in mind, this story is developing, and details surrounding the recent events are hazy, to say the least. One of the main groups behind the recent violence is Los Escorpiones, the Scorpion group, who, of course, have hit the headlines more than once this year. They were the group responsible for kidnapping 4 Americans in the city of Matamoros, 2 of which were murdered by the group. Historically, Los Metros, another former Gulf Cartel faction, are rivals of Los Escorpiones, and the two groups have reported to have had conflicts in the municipalities of El Mante, Mendez, San Fernando, Tula, Ocampo, and San Carlos. The battle between the two groups would eventually end in stalemate. Both sides were losing foot soldiers in the battle, with neither side showing signs of winning or losing the conflict. As a result, in around 2020 or 2021, it's believed that a truce was called between the two sides. They didn't turn into allies overnight, however, they agreed tentatively to leave each other alone for the time being. However, in recent times, it's believed that Los Metros formed an alliance with Elementro's Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generacion, CJNG. Naturally, this angered the Los Escorpiones faction due to fears that Los Metros and CJNG were preparing to take over the state. To make matters worse, it is also believed that CJNG and Los Metros then offered support to both the Old School Zetas and Los Panteras, both of whom Los Escorpiones do not see eye to eye with, to say the least. Los Metros, flirting with the likes of CJNG and the Old School Zetas, would end their truce with Los Escorpiones. Los Escorpiones would respond by forming an alliance with Cartel del Noreste, and some speculation also indicates that Carteles Unidos may have reached out to the Scorpion group to lend a hand, which makes sense as they view CJNG as their main rivals. During the back end of April and early May of 2023, firefights were reported all over Tamaulipas, but primarily in and around the city of Reynosa. Rumours indicate that the Scorpion group were battling against both Los Panteras and the Old School Zetas. A CJNG convoy was spotted in the area, though many speculate that the vehicles were not actually driven by CJNG members, more so that the vehicles were given to their allies in their battle against the Scorpion group. Regardless, it seems that CJNG are targeting the state of Tamaulipas, which of course makes sense due to the access to the US border. They already control various ports across Mexico, allowing them to ship in fentanyl precursors from China. If they were also able to control large parts of the border, it would without doubt be a huge power play. As of right now, it appears that CJNG are taking a backseat approach and are funding the likes of Los Metros and the Old School Zetas. Some say their members were a part of the firefights in Reynosa and elsewhere, though others doubt this. According to social media reports, Los Escorpiones got the better of their rivals during the skirmishes. Various videos emerged online showing cartel convoys speeding through the streets, as well as gunfire between vehicles. In one video, a Scorpion member can be seen shooting an AR directly through the windshield of his truck, trying to hit the ops. Another video showcases members of Los Escorpiones reading out a statement of defiance, warning those that they are down for the fight. The video shows numerous heavily armed Sicarios pledging their alliance to their leader, Jefe 19. Some of the transcript is as follows: "We are the absolute cartel del Golfo. This is what our cartel defends, the city limits. We are the absolute Gulf Cartel. We are the Grupo Escorpiones at your service, at your very service. We are the absolute Grupo Escorpion, the absolute mob for Jefe 19. As you can expect, the violence in Tamaulipas has also produced a piece of incredibly graphic footage showcasing the murder of an Old School Zeta member. In one video, you see a Grupo Escorpion vehicle driving past a flaming truck belonging to a rival group. It was the scene of a shootout in which Grupo Escorpion won. The Sicarios talk amongst themselves, stating the following as they shout out the window: "So, there it is. I've left your disabled vehicles here so that you can come and recover them afterwards. You I also have a captured Zeta gunman in the back of the truck bed. I thought you guys were supposed to be tough." In regards to the captive, you do not see him in the video, though his fate would become clear on the release of a second clip. But nevertheless, what happens in the actual video? The video itself was released on the 4th of May 2023, and it's a short one at 37 seconds long. Despite its short nature, it is still incredibly hard to look at. The video was shot during the middle of a night, possibly on the 3rd of May, and you see that the setting is that of a rural, desert-type area. The victim has been stripped down to his underwear, and he has a chain around his neck which has been secured to something off-screen, ensuring that he cannot run. The victim has a sheen on his skin, like he's been doused with some sort of liquid. You then see what appears to be a gas canister on the ground, which only means one thing for the victim, who was said to be a member of the Old School Zetas. As you play the video, you see the captive sitting on the ground, completely doused in gasoline. There is much commotion in the background as the Scorpion group Sicarios bay for his demise. A Sicario then walks up to the victim, and you hear a shrieking scream which echoes through the night sky as the victim anticipates his excruciating demise. The Sicario then takes a lighter and sets the victim ablaze. Fire immediately consumes his body as he tries to roll around on the dirt floor to extinguish the flames. Due to the gasoline sticking to his skin, it doesn't work as the flames continue to burn and melt his skin. As he is rolling around, I notice that his left ankle looks completely floppy. It appears that they broke it before the video, or potentially he got injured during the prior shootout. As the victim writhes in pain, one of the Sicarios shouts, "Where the fuck are you going, you fat?" While another exclaims, "Go fuck yourself, you Zeta bastard piece of shit. Burn, you shit." The victim continues to roll around on fire in excruciating pain. One of the hitmen then makes a joke and states, "That would be a trip if he ran towards you and hugged you." He starts laughing. You then hear a Sicario cock his gun. However, he is told by a fellow hitman, "Don't do anything yet. Let him burn. Just let him burn the fuck away. Just leave him there. Just leave him there. Wait a bit. Let him suffer a little longer. Let him suffer a little longer." The video ends as the victim is still attempting to fight the flames, but to no avail. As mentioned, the video is very recent, released on and around the 4th of May 2023. The larger picture of the situation in Tamaulipas could be bleak, and potentially a spike in violence may be on the cards in the next few months. The issue with Tamaulipas is a simple one. It contains various smaller splinter factions, all vying for power in the area. Scenarios like this usually lead to an increase in violence. States with one dominant cartel, or even two larger cartels who are at odds with one another, tend not to be as violent as states like Tamaulipas, who have various different criminal groups, albeit not one dominant organisation. To make matters worse, if CJNG enter the picture, this will only exacerbate the violence in the state, as we've seen on countless other occasions. As of recording, it appears that the violence has calmed down for the time being, after the Mexican military deployed around 700 troops in the area. Despite this, Mexican authorities denied the severity of the unrest in the region. But anyway, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it, if you can enjoy this sort of content. Please bear in mind, the situation in Tamaulipas is somewhat complicated, with various reports and theories as to what happened contradicting each other. So if I made a mistake, or if you have any additional information, please educate us in the comments. Usually I don't report on cartel activity that is ongoing. I usually like to wait a bit until I cover the cases or cover the stories, But I have been thinking of making more current narco events videos, so things that are happening right now. Hence why this is a bonus video, see what you guys think. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for the support. I kind of rushed to make this video, so again, apologies if I got anything wrong, but let me know in the comments. Anyway, check me out on Twitter, the link will be in the pinned comments. Drop me a DM if you have anything to say, any topics to suggest, etc. Also, if you could check out my Twitch, once again the link will be in the pinned comments. But as always, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.